Did you know that you can cook hardtack in Tradelands? No? Well, that's because I just made that up. But I really think that should be a feature, among some others. You may or may not agree, but hey, whatever, it's your choice. So, I just think that Tradelands has so much more potential, and the addition of new features and mechanics will spice up the game drastically and makes the game more adventurous. Today, we will be going over things that me and my Discord members think that should be added into the game. This video is just for fun, but unless it reaches the devs. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Probably one of the features I want most integrated into Tradelands is cooking. I can already see many possibilities if cooking was added. First, a new skill is introduced, obviously. Second, it would open up the possibility of restaurants and bars having more use and being run by players so that they can earn extra money. Third, cooking would also introduce the idea of hunger and thirst into the game. The purpose of it would include how much time it would take to complete a meal course, or how much money is earned when working in a restaurant. Cooking could be done in wood-fired ovens, furnaces, or cauldrons. The skill can be leveled up by either preparing meals at home or restaurants. Aside from cooking, making drinks should also be able to earn you experience points for the cooking skill. Bartending would fall into this category, for example. The possibility of running existing restaurants or bars in the game is there if cooking was added. It is another way to earn money and, more importantly, have fun. The cooking mechanic in Tradelands should be similar to the one seen in Restaurant Tycoon 2, for example. Players and NPCs can both eat out at restaurants or bars, of course. I think being able to consume food items at restaurants would also greatly improve RP potential. With the integration of cooking, I think it should be reasonable that hunger and thirst bars be added. The depletion of these bars depend on time, your energy consumption, and avatar size. So to recap, cooking would bring new features like restaurants, more NPCs, hunger and thirst bars, and RP potential. Cooking may also make use of fish, hardtack, salt, and oil. Wouldn't it be nice to make some of that coveted gourmet hardtack? Some of the ships look great the way they are, but I really think some can have more added onto them, such as the interior, living space, and nameplates. Some ships I really think deserve interiors and living space are the Widgeon, Beaver, and Atlas family class ships, and maybe even the 3 full Ironclads. I mean, seriously, look at how much potential space they have below deck. They have a considerable amount of space beneath the top deck that can hold interiors. I think interiors should have living space, mess area, and a meeting room. The number of people that can use the space should probably be the number of people needed to fully man the ship or more. Next, I think most ships should have nameplates. By that, I mean having the name of the ship either printed on the bow or stern of the ship, such as the Alliance and Atlas family ships. Instead of displaying the ship's class, such as the Bingle Hopper, Atlas, Phoenix, unless players chose to leave the name as is, it would display what you actually name your ship. It would be a nice way of customizing your ship. I think nameplates should be a craftable item, which includes the nameplate first base and the nameplate second base, which is the wood you want the name of your ship to be inscribed on. Next, I think all steamships, or at least ships running advanced engines, should be able to reverse. I really think it's ridiculous that ships with engines are not able to reverse. So yeah, good addition here. Speaking of ships with advanced engines, let's talk about the Poseidon. I think the Poseidon should be downgraded from a tier 10 to a tier 9 ship. I think that in its current state, the Poseidon is a truly pathetic excuse for an Ironclad. It has a weak broadside. It is vulnerable on its own, and it cannot live up to its role as an ironclad, even if it's merely a support ship. So either a downgrade to tier 9 and cheapen it would do it a favor, or give it 24,000 HP again and keep it as a tier 10. Next, I think players should be able to see each other's ship info as shown here, but only if they are close enough. Ship information for enemy or flag hidden players cannot be seen by you regardless of distance. This might be minuscule, but I think it's a nice feature to have. Next, I think the HP bars should change from a rectangle bar to a silhouette bar. I think health would look cooler like that. Any status conditions the ship has will be displayed here, which I will explain later in the video. So to recap, I think ships should have interiors, nameplates, ship information displayed over your ship, and health bars should be in the form of the ship's silhouette. We want ships, most importantly, trade ships, or ironclads, or both. But let's first focus on trade ships. In my opinion, I think trade ships are underrated. There are more combat ships than trade ships by a large margin. Let's see how many trade versus combat ships there are in the shipwright. Let's set some ground rules first. We will classify each ship based on how the Tradelands official wiki classifies each ship. If it is a multi-purpose ship, it is up to us to determine what role that ship is more suitable in. Therefore, we have about 18 trade ships to 32 combat ships, nearly 2 to 1. In a game called Tradelands, I would expect trading to be a key aspect of the game, but not to the degree where combat ships outnumber trade ships 2 to 1. There is an obvious solution: more trade ships. Either a variant of an existing combat ship, a steam variant of an existing trade ship, or a completely new type of ship would suffice. Next, we should have more ironclads. Yes, ironclads, but not just any ironclad. I'm talking about a monitor in particular, similar to USS Monitor. An ironclad of this type would have the ability to mount a single turret capable of rotating 270 degrees to 360 degrees. It would be nice as a solo raider or being able to raid with one other person. Speaking of turrets, I think it would be nice if there were more types of turrets available. Turrets should probably have different gun sounds compared to the regular cannons. So to recap, we should have more trade ships and ironclads, specifically monitors. Want to know what will be an interesting addition? Quests. I think quests or side missions should have you perform certain tasks to get a certain reward. But there should be even larger quests, such as being able to play the Pirate of the Caribbean event or the Atlantis event again. I remember playing the Atlantis event and it was quite fun, even though I wasn't able to finish the event in time. It would surely give us players more things to do and open up the possibility of more adventures. The quests can range from little things such as gathering items for an NPC or hunting someone. The prizes can also range from some items, doubloons, to the accessibility of exclusive ships. So to recap, quests can range from small tasks such as obtaining items to adventures. Prizes include everyday Tradelands items to exclusive ships and items. Quests can be given by just about any NPC. I am very hopeful that such quests will be added into the future, and that just means that there will be fantastical adventures out there just waiting for us. I think there should be more to naval combat than just simply landing shots. I think fire and flooding should be added. Fires should slowly burn the ship's HP away for a set amount of time. There should also be up to 3 simultaneous instances of fires depending on the ship size. All ships can be set ablaze. Fires can only start when a round shot hits the deck of a ship, or the side of the ship above the waterline. The probability of a fire should be dependent on the poundage of the cannon and whether or not it was a long gun or a carronade. Flooding works similarly to fires, but except it does more damage per second, and there can only be up to 2 instances. Most ships should be able to flood. Floods can occur if a round shot hits below the waterline, and the probability of a flooding depends on the cannon from which the round was fired from. The additional side effects of flooding is that it'll slow the ship down, and the ship will lean towards the round shot impact site. So, if the round shot hits the bow of the ship, the bow will sink. Likewise, if a round hits a ship starboard amidships, it will develop a list to starboard, and so on. The effects should last for 30 seconds, at which then flooding ceases. When there are instances of fires and flooding, the icon of respective conditions should be shown on the ship's silhouette. I think it is reasonable that fires deal a 0.25% of a ship's HP per second, while flooding does 0.5%. Of course, these are for only one instance of each condition. If there are simultaneous status conditions, their effects will stack. Let's take a look at how flooding would work. Let's use the Darrington as our example. Imagine a super carronade round hits the Ironclad's bow that deals 1,250 damage and causes flooding. As soon as flooding starts, the HP of the ship begins to decrease by 0.5% every second, and the ship will show signs of flooding and sink where it was hit. 0.5% of 27,500 is 137.5, so the Ironclad will lose 137.5 HP every second. After 30 seconds, the flooding and its effects will cease. Hey, if you made it this far, congratulations! You may now be presented with some extras. Alright guys, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you see and want more, hit the like button, subscribe, and share the video with your friends so I'll be motivated to keep making these videos. If you disagree with any of the points, we can be gentlemen about it down in the comments. I'm Nautical, and I'll see all of you guys in my next video. Peace.